Good evening and welcome back to Beacon, everyone. It's good to be back. We're here with the Stream Punks, getting ready to tell the next chapter in the story of our Alien actual play here. Since I'm on the subject of Stream Punks in Beacon, we've been doing this for a hot minute, y'all. Most of us, actually, at least three of us, met because of Geek and Sundry and our days back at GNS, and we have been going ever since, and that has been largely thanks to, well, no, I should say it's been 99.9999% because of all of you who have been supporting the Stream Punks. When our time at GNS came to an end, we didn't want to stop playing. And we weren't content to let people tell us when we could and could not play. So coming up with our own model so that we could keep this going and so we could keep telling stories together, Oxcrew came to the rescue. You guys showed up, and we've been at this for almost half a decade now.
Oh my God.
I know. I'm sorry to put it that way, but I keep thinking about how the passage of time, we've been doing this for a hot minute, because we started up in 2020 and we're in 2024. So
we have an entire year to worry about that,
yes,
so long as Streampunk survives.
Yes, indeed, which is an excellent segue, that to which Sam is quite experienced at doing. An excellent segue into why I'm talking about all this. This coming Saturday is June 1st, and June 1st is going to be, I know this is rather last minute, but it is going to be our fundraiser. So we are pulling it out and just throwing this fundraiser onto the table and doing this live. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do our best. We're basically trying to raise funds for Streampunk production. This is one of the things that we do to keep Streampunks healthy and supported. So we urge you all to come out. If you've enjoyed the stories that you've watched us since our TBD days to presents, we encourage you to come out and support the community and the fundraiser. It is going to be starting at, I believe it's 10 a.m. PST on Saturday, June 1st. And specifically, I should go ahead and say that a lot of this fundraiser is actually going to go towards the production of The Last Excelsior, which is a good segue into our big announcements that we've had the past couple of weeks. See, I learn when I'm around Sam. I learn how to do this. So The Last Excelsior is our new Star Trek Adventures campaign. You can catch the details both on our Ko-fi, our Patreon, and now on the platform I like to call Twitter Corpse. We are also going to be using Blue Sky a lot more often than Twitter, so do keep your eyes on Blue Sky. If you don't have an account over there, you can find us over there, of course, under Streampunks RPG. We're going to start pushing things over there a little bit more often, and we're going to be doing a lot of updates for The Last Excelsior. If you guys did not catch it recently, to give you a heads up, I've been posting lore drops on the Ko-fi and the Patreon, sort of like a background to kind of lead us into the upcoming campaign of The Last Excelsior. These are personal logs from the Admiral, who is currently trying to get the project, you'll have to read it to find out what I'm talking about, project underway. So it's sort of, think of like, is it a prequel lore kind of stuff that's leading us into the game itself. So check it out if you're interested. We're going to have more information about some of the features and content that we have coming up for The Last Excelsior. This fundraiser this Saturday is going to play a huge role in kicking this production off. Any support that we get for the fundraiser, all of that goes into supporting the productions for Streampunks throughout the course of, well, pretty much however long we can stretch it out. We did so well on our last fundraiser that we just decided to keep stretching and stretching and stretching it out, and we stretched it out for 2 years. So thank you, guys. These fundraisers are supposed to be annual, but we were like, no, we don't need it. We don't need it. They supported us so well. Let's just press pause.
Of course, it's better with 2.
It's better with 2.
Also, thank you guys for the hype train.
Yeah, thank y'all for the hype train. So yeah, stay tuned. This Saturday is really going to be setting the bar for the next chapter of Streampunks. Of course, the big campaign is the Clear Skies campaign that we have coming up, The Last Excelsior, but it's also sponsoring other games too, and helps us do things like supporting Noir's badass Marvel adventures that they've been running on our Discord on the last Tuesdays. It also supports any time we want to pull one of our old games out of mothballs, like predation, for example, and kick that off again. It lets us add production value. It helps support artists that we want to hire, like Caitlin, for example. It helps us support musicians that we want to hire, like Jason Charles Miller. It basically, any money that we raise through the fundraiser to kick off productions for Stream Punks is basically paying off a lot of the geeks that you guys see streaming in the TTRPG community that we get to reach out to and ask for help. So we hope you will join us, and thank you so much for 4 years of your support. That is my big announcement. Does anybody else have any other announcements for this evening?
I have a very quick update.
Yeah, fire away.
Sticky notes. I got sticky notes. Dopamine levels at maximum. Sticky notes. Sticky notes. Sticky notes. I'm obsessed with sticky notes. Sticky notes. Sticky notes.
This is a very important.
Has a little bear astronaut on it. Sticky notes. Okay, that's all. That's all.
No, I just love it. It's the wholesome Eliza version of the Homer Simpson urge to murder rising meme. Sticky
Dopamine
notes
levels rising.
Dopamine rising.
Rising. Look at these little ones.
All right. Well, thank you, Eliza. Everyone, if you have a chance, just please note sticky notes. Thank you. Yeah, it's very important. Thank you very much. Does anybody else have any other announcements before we get back into the magical, fluffy world of Alien?
Yes, I do. I do believe this is tomorrow coming up is the last Tuesday of the month.
What?
So that means we do have more Marvel happening. We'll be continuing with the story of Big B and Dash. Our roommates who didn't realize one was a superhero intern and the other was a henchman. All of the Marvel stories take place within the same universe, the Marvel 312 universe, which I've created. So we might hear some of the stuff that some of our other heroes have gotten into. But if you have been enjoying the Marvel stuff at all, please be sure to join the Stream Punks Coffee and check out our monthly series. And I'll be opening up the Marvel 312 universe to either demi play or start playing games respectively. So if you want to join the same universe that you're seeing these heroes in, you will have the chance to do that. I'll be talking more about it at Gen Con. I hope to see you there. That's it.
Sweet. All right. Thank you very much, Noir. Does anybody else have anything they would like to burden us with before we get underway? Yes, Sam. I knew that would provoke you.
Perfect. Always happy to be predictable. Also, addendum 312 universe. Yes, if you agree. Thank you.
I gotta steal that.
You can't steal what's freely given.
We'll have to work on that part too then.
The part where my actions might have consequences, though, if I could trade that out, that would be ideal. But in the meantime, I think I actually have to pay off some consequences now. Because, like, we're finally getting back to bacon. And, like, apparently there are these avians who return to their domicile to roost.
Right.
And I'm concerned about this roosting behavior. I'm excited to be back with you all playing bacon.
All right. With that, my friends, let us return to the Ilios and to Beacon Station in tonight's episode of Beacon. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to kick off the game tonight where we last left off, which, as a quick reminder, was the return of the Ilios to the Beacon. You guys were 20 minutes out from the space station as you guys were headed in. You had already worked out a deal to get a certain former UPP operative and now turned pirate/mercenary a ticket out of jail and possibly worse, as you all came to an agreement that seemed to work out and gave certain people second chances, which is very in keeping with the Ilios crew. You also managed to convince a former executive of Wayland Yutani who doesn't seem to be without some sense of humanity. A way of turning this into a win-win situation for him, appealing to his more egotistical side. It worked. So no complaints there. But there are other things that are ahead of you that are raising some measure of question as to what you guys are all going to do next. So as a quick recap in this regard, there's a couple of threads that are just kind of hanging loose out there right now. And really, it's all up to you, the crew of the Ilios, what you wish to do. Now, it would appear, this is just somebody from the outside looking in, and as a quick backstory to everybody who's watching right now, the players have their own private channel to which they speak to one another and which I am not allowed to look at, and conversations about where this group wants to go. So it would appear from my side of the table that the crew of the Ilios does not want to partake in the mother mission and is plotting a way to back away from that. Meanwhile, there is also the thread hanging loose about this one particular spot that you have learned about from this former pirate. A colony that is apparently the source of the black goo that you have all uncovered. This variant strain of this biological weapon that has been crafted. You've learned some pretty disturbing things about the fact that this biological weapon by default seems to be quite horrific in what it can do. You've seen some of the side effects, but this one seems to be modified. The other thing that is also worth mentioning that has been revealed is this particular variant apparently has the capacity to corrupt synthetic life as well. How that is possible is completely uncertain. There's a lot of theories. The truth of the matter is what you all know for a fact about this black goo is it is far beyond the capacity of engineering of anything that humankind has ever created. Humankind has clearly been modifying it and tinkering with it. Its source still remains something of a mystery. There is a colony out there that has been linked to the source of this particular vial. And it has also been linked to someone's past. Someone who has somebody they thought they had lost. Whom they may have lost, but at least some answers as to what has happened to her, what her final fate was, and how it ties into this vial. It's the deep breath before the plunge. As Beacon Station has come into view, you have already contacted the tower, air control, if you will, and the Ilios is pulling into dock. It is a comforting sight. So much so that if you have any stress, the sight of Beacon Station, as you all begin to slow down, you may all reduce your stress level by 1. If you have any stress right now. Little rule that I'm kind of swiping from Forbidden Lands. But the sight of home basically brings you all a little bit of comfort. And as the momentum of the Ilios slows and slows and slows until finally all you can hear is the muted sound of the heavy thrusters outside the ship firing, you come into a synchronous orbit with the station itself. And immediately you can see, just outside the airlock, this canopy just extend outwards and latch on to the side of the Ilios. Getting the 5-star treatment today, since one of the docking clamps was free, you guys get to dock directly with the station. No having to drift across open space this time. Instead, the extension of this tunnel attaches as the umbilical connects to the side of the Ilios, and you all see the green light as the airlock pressurizes, and you dock. Home at last, home at last. And taking a deep breath, kind of mirroring what many of you might be feeling at this particular moment, your pilot, Connor, exhales and goes, "Do we have a story we want to tell? Is there anything I should know before we..." You know what? I'm just not going to talk. How's that? I'll just say I'm busy.
Dang, that's a good plan. Too bad I can't steal it.
You're the pilot. You were
You were
Piloting.
in pilot
Right.
chair.
Yeah, no, I was piloting. I was busy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's all on you then. Baker's going to want to see all of you as soon as you get on board. So give him my regards. I'm just going to make sure that everything's all powered down here.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sounds good.
He starts
Well,
flipping
let's-
switches and putting the Ilios into standby mode, bringing the reactor temperatures down.
We might as well get this over with. I'm for one. I'm just grateful we don't have to dangle off a cord over the vast infinite of space.
Maybe this will improve our ship's maintenance schedule.
One
Is
can
there?
only hope.
I was going to say, is there a twinge of sarcasm in the ever evolving voice?
That's not for me to say. That is for you to interpret.
I cast Copperhead subtext.
Hmm. All right. What would you all like to do?
I'm immediately heading to get myself a hot bowl of ramen. I don't give a crap about anything else other than that right now.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, we just got some unhinged news. We're gonna have some warm soup before we do
Yeah.
anything,
That-
and then
that
we'll
is-
go have a difficult conversation.
that is
Doc
complete.
Craze.
That is completely fair. Yeah.
Doc Craze nudes.
Don't say
Good
that on the
news.
internet.
You couldn't resist, could you?
With open DMs,
going
don't
to go
say that on the
against-
internet.
Yeah, indeed.
Getting the cat settled.
All right. Well, with that in mind, stepping onto Beacon Station, it seems like every time you've spent any time away from the station, it's changed just a little bit by the time you get back. And indeed, it's been well over a month since you guys were last on the station. Space travel and time spent away, all things considered, a short trip compared to what the other cargo ships are experienced when they're shipping back and forth. Typically, some of the ships are gone for months and months at a time. Stepping back into the station area, though, as you guys enter onto B deck where you're all docked, or rather, yeah, that's correct. You guys are actually just one level below the main concourse, but down here on the cargo deck, as soon as you find yourself to open up into the great expansive area that is the main cargo deck, you see a station that, again, has changed even further since you were last here. There are a lot of people moving about, and a few new station staff members, because you see a bunch of crew that you don't recognize, all wearing the Beacon logoed patch, as well as the UN patch underneath. Moving about, calling out, you can hear constant dialogue echoing out over the loudspeakers, causing this clamor here on the cargo deck. You imagined that this was the station as it was always intended to be, a place of constant activity, a place where people from all over this sector are moving through here, trying to get supplies out the door. Whatever has happened since you were gone, it would definitely appear to the lot of you that Beacon is now in full swing once and for all. Perhaps that final connection to the UN has made all the difference. But typically, when the Ilios docks, you're used to seeing at least one or two familiar faces. But here instead, it's like stepping out onto the Comic-Con floor. You all just see this packed room of people motioning, cargo planks being lowered by lifters. You see lifters, multiple lifters, walkers just passing by you as you see load lifters, people just moving right past everybody. It's a whole new station.
I didn't realize we'd get more people this quickly.
Yeah. I guess
it's
that's
been
what-
been a couple weeks.
Yeah.
but-
That's what fresh new budget numbers will do, I guess.
Also means there are a lot of people out there that needed a place to go.
Well, they found it.
More people means inevitably more incidents, accidents, and sickness. So maybe I should stop by the Med B, see if they need an extra hand. As much as I would love to devour some hot ramen.
We'll have a bowl ready for you after that if you want to swing by after.
Please do. And if there's anything new on the menu, I mean, I'll recoup you. Just I'm hungrier than I'm just very hungry. I can't think of anything. I'm gonna go to the Med Bay.
That hungry?
Yep. He just says it as he like waves as he's walking in that direction.
Okay. All right. What are the rest of you doing?
I think I'm still gonna go get ramen. I know that
Mhm.
I should probably check in with my security chief, but ramen.
Sure.
I'll do
All
that
right.
after.
You're going to head to the main concourse area where there is indeed a brand new ramen restaurant. At least there should be one set up by now. How about you, Isaac? What are you up to? Do you have any plans, or do you need time to think about it?
I'm just getting Dr. Impressive settled.
Okay. So did you bring Dr. Impressive with you guys back out of the ship?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So the exhausted conversation did happen in the context of a cat carrier.
In which case, you would see that Dr. Impressive looks a little overwhelmed and is doing the thing that cats do when they're kind of overstimulated, where they're sort of like something catches their attention, even though there's really nothing going on. Head darts a little bit left and right. Eyes are a little wider than normal. Ears are standing up on end. Get the impression he's a little overwhelmed by everything that's happening around him. Not squirming in your arms yet, but definitely giving you the vibe that that could be on the horizon.
All right. Maybe a little bit of quiet time in my quarters will soothe the beast.
Okay.
Oh. With sharp claws. Did you know that?
Yeah, those are probably peeking out a little bit right about now.
I just found out. Well, I knew intellectually, but I was reminded.
Mm.
Forcibly.
All right.
No. Isaac.
Oh. Okay, so you're headed to your quarters.
Yeah.
All right. So you're heading up to the deck. Then we'll go ahead and start with Doc. Doc, it takes a minute for you to finally gain access to the lift as so many people are coming and going. But when you finally step inside, as you find yourself in a lift for the first time, kind of packed. A lot of people having some various conversation. Nothing that sounds anything pertinent. It just sounds like people talking about their shift and maybe even trading some hours on the shift tomorrow. By the time you start getting some useful tidbits, the door is already opening to the main concourse. As it does, you are greeted with much of the same environment that you saw on the cargo deck, except for, of course, the main concourse is the largest deck on Beacon Station, covering multiple floors and having that ring of windows that stretches all the way across the station. Still has that good old retro Siegson feel to it, as it is an old chunk of metal floating in space, not quite up to date, but you do see that it looks like this place looks very different. It looks like some fresh coats of paint have been applied to some of the walls. You see some neon signs blinking. There's open spaces for rent and to lease. Looks like Beacon Station is advertising that. But more importantly for you, you do indeed see Sachiko Tani has her restaurant wide open and a big line forming just outside. The smell of freshly cooked ramen noodles and the just column of steam wafting up from one of the corners of the concourse. Those long tables that you all used to sit at, there's a few of them still present, but mostly the concourse looks like it's opened up now to much larger individual tables spread out across the area. Not these long picnic-styled tables, crew tables that you're used to seeing. The place looks like it's become a little more commercial, perhaps.
Doc is just gonna look longingly at the restaurant from the lift.
Okay.
As he presses the button to go to the med bay. Like that's just like one lone solitary tear. This is just like, I mean, nobody be hurt if I just went right now, but I need to see if there's anything that needs to be done. Hungry as a tick chewing on a skeleton. That's what I should have said. All right.
Doc, if you look down, I think you'll see Martha join the end of that line.
I was gonna say it'd be funny if Doc had no idea that Martha was actually in the lift with him in that crowd. So as you're looking longingly at that sign for Tani's ramen noodles, you see Martha kind of glance over her shoulder with a smile at you as she just walks straight towards it, and the doors.
I do this because I'm in line for both of us. Okay.
Oh, nice.
As the lift goes up, he's just got this look on his face like, I love you.
Yeah. Yeah, you're lucky. You're lucky it wasn't Tig. Martha's doing this. Tig might have been like. It's hard to tell with Tig sometimes.
Oh yeah.
The lift starts taking you up.
Yep, he's just looking at it longingly.
Okay. Well, you do manage to get to the upper tower, the operations dome. The door opens. It is much quieter up here. The crowd has thinned out considerably. On this level, as you well know, you are now above the crew deck or the main hab block in the upper tower. This is closer to the area where you see the operations centers and just basic office areas, as well as former laboratory areas too, for when this place was still being used by Siegson. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump as you manage to get over to what will be, I think, called the upper area that is functioning as sort of like a small clinic. This is further away from the main med bay down below, but the clinic is where you, this is pretty much where coordination is taking place and is very close to Baker's office. If you remember correctly, this is where Dr. Khan makes her office area when she needs to get away from the sick bay itself.
Yeah.
So checking in with the chief medical officer of Beacon Station. When you step inside, it's changed so much. Doc, you remember this place just used to look like an empty restaurant with like tiled floor and a drain in the middle kind of style of where it was just like an empty space. You still remember seeing the boxes in here and meeting a cat for the very first time when you guys first arrived at Beacon Station, when this place was practically empty. Instead, when you step inside, now you see what looks like a full-blown office space. Has an L-shaped long desk with consoles that link directly to Mother. You see what looks like 2 specialty medical beds that have been placed off to the side for recovery, and a space that has been set aside that looks like it is in the process of waiting for some kind of installation. You see what looks like power couplings kind of poking up out of the floor. Lots of power cables that are just waiting for a connector but haven't been made yet. And sitting there looking quite professional in her doctor's coat, you see Dr. Skylar Khan, currently typing away on what looks like a virtual keyboard on the screen, working with Mother. She hears you come in as you step inside and glances back and almost double takes and goes, "Oh,
not dead yet."
Back from vacation then?
Oh yeah, got a lovely tan, can't you tell? Just getting in, I thought, there's far more people than I remember being here, and there's a lot more people. That means a lot more incidents, accidents, and illnesses. So I thought you might need a hand.
She swivels around in her chair and leans back comfortably, and she says, "I actually have a medical staff now."
Oh, fancy that.
Did you see the cargo bays and everything as you were coming up?
Oh yeah, there's so much. This place is night and day difference.
Yes, it's all prep work for the incoming Mother mission. We're their last stop before they jump out into the middle of nowhere. So the UN felt it necessary to, let's just say, reallocate some of the resources. And all of a sudden, we found ourselves with staff that we don't have to pull out of our personal budget. That's now being handled by the UN. So Beacon Station is finally a place that can support all of this.
Funny the difference money makes, even out here.
Hey,
yes.
Real quick though, you said you just got in. Does that mean everyone from the Ilios just got in?
Yeah, we're all taking much needed rest. Except me, I'm my worst patient.
She nods slowly and she says, "Has anyone else? How long have you been here? Let me ask this a different way. Does Isaac know about Hassan?"
Why don't you enlighten me?
Okay. He's okay, but he was critically injured last week during a loading accident. He's been in the sick bay for the past 5 days now.
Might I take a look at the file?
Sure. She very casually swivels over and pulls out a folder and sets down, clatters on the ground, and she opens it up and waves and says, his son was not taking very good care of himself. She shrugs and says, we were a little overtaxed. There was a lot of concern when we got new staff that the old staff needed to prove that they were still worth keeping around. A silly sentiment, but probably trauma from living in the hellscape that is this corporate world. Nobody's job was under threat, but Hassan decided to take a couple of extra shifts. I think probably because this is most of the work he's done most of his life. A lifter fell on him. We had to amputate his left arm, but he is recovering, and because he is now government employed, is already adapting very well to his new replacement. He's not taking the loss of his tattoos very well, though. So
the difference between this medical examiner and Doc is looking for anything that's potentially shady at all, just from the experiences that he has had. So is there anything in the file that to a normal doc would be like, oh, this is unfortunate, but to somebody that has been like honed by these experiences that reads as potentially shifty, mark that for reporting to a Marine?
As you're glancing over it and you're hearing her talk about the trauma of working in this hellscape, it is with some sense of irony that you, Doc, find yourself looking for anything shady, anything corrupt, perhaps also your own version as you're scanning through it. Instead, what you see is a file indicating the physical trauma that he underwent, but you also see what looks like a failure in the hydraulics of one of these load lifters as he was charging it. It looks like it was put into the bay. You can actually see footage of this happening, and it looks like it's all been very well documented. You also know that the file indicates that he has had complete coverage. The medical expense was considered work-related, and the UN is covering all the medical expenses of his arm replacement. But you see a very difficult to watch looping footage of one of the right knees, almost like somebody's actual knee giving out as the hydraulic suddenly fails on this load lifter as it was being backed into what looked like a charging bay. And in a moment of panic, that instinct to try to stop a falling 1,800-pound robotic machine, you see a split second where Hassan throws his hands up to try to stop this thing from buckling and falling, and instantly realizing his terrible mistake as he fires off that instinct to try to stop this thing, almost like trying to stop a car from rolling onto you. It feels like you'll be able to, and then your thinking brain clicks in and goes, what the hell was I thinking? Hassan hesitates and starts trying to pull away, but by the time he does, it's all over. The thing falls right on top of him, and you see it slam down onto the grating, and you can see a body inside the load lifter, strapped in for safety, kind of get jostled around heavily inside the seat. But you see the reaction of Hassan slamming his fist against the load lifter and reacting as this thing falls on top of him. You can clearly see from about mid part of his shoulder, he's buried underneath it. You also see the medical report. It's a rough injury. You can see that this load lifter falling on him basically pulverized his arm, and there was really only one way to go with it. So, but she apparently, Dr. Khan oversaw the surgery herself. He's been upgraded with a fully functional synthetic arm that looks like it was installed, and it seems like, according to the reports, he's taking to it. He's been conscious off and on for the past couple of days, and indeed, it looks like she's right. Patient has been talking about how pissed he is to lose some of his tattoos. He doesn't seem to be that upset. He's mostly been cracking jokes about how stupid it was to try to stop the load lifter.
Unfortunate accident. Wonderful job on the surgery, though. That could have gone a bad way. So
she throws her hands up and she goes, I've been doing this kind of work for companies and governments for a while now, and almost every single time there's an injury like this. This is not the first time I've had to install one of these. It's a rough life, and Hassan has been doing this for longer than just about anybody at Beacon Station. Truly, it's pretty impressive he lasted this long without losing something at this point.
Where is he recovering? Is he recovering in the clinic, or has he been resigned?
Well, I offered him a bed up here where it's nice and quiet, since he is recovering from a pretty evasive surgery. But Hassan insists that the distant noise of the cargo bay actually helps him sleep, and sure enough, it seems to be.
All right, that's good to know.
If you don't mind me saying, you look different.
Physician, heal thyself. All right. And he takes a seat.
She scoots over to her desk, and you see her move a half-poured cup of coffee and slides it over to you. And then she reaches out and grabs this metal, crude-looking pot and pours herself another cup. Says, "What's happened to you?" She slides the cup over.
You know, you get to be my age, and you figure you're all grown up. And then life tells you to grow up.
She nods and says, "I'm a doctor, same as you. I know when someone's dodging a question when I ask them how they're doing."
I am in need of rest.
That much is clear. You don't have to tell me, Doc. Of course, you don't have to tell me. But, Albright, I just want you to know, colleague to colleague, if you ever want to vent, doctors need doctors, after all.
You are not wrong. Physically, what ails me is I have a low dosage of radiation poisoning. It's slowing me down just a little bit. There's a cough and
as you're saying all of this, she's pulling out medicals. You see her open up, just pulls it out. She goes, moves over to you, runs a scanner up against your arm. She says,
Yeah, there's an irritation in the back of my throat that I think I'm gonna die with, and every now and then it gets a little foggy. Thank you.
She starts reading your vitals, puts the stethoscope against you and listens for a moment. Takes a second. She goes, "I'm going to take a blood sample."
Be careful with that. I don't think I'm infected with anything. I made sure that I wouldn't put myself in the open populace if I was, but I have been exposed to some things that I don't quite understand. So if you do take that sample, just be very careful with it.
I'm going to have her roll.
Being very forthcoming for a dodge.
If you would like to hide anything from her, but
he's putting it out on the open like that, but he's not describing what he's talking about. He genuinely, doctor to doctor, I respect you enough to let you know that what you're holding could be dangerous in a way that I don't know. So this is the best warning I can give you.
She hesitates before she takes the sample and looks at you for a long moment, Doc, before setting it down and reaching over and tapping two buttons. And you see the open door to her office go and closes up. And she goes, "What the hell happened to you out there? Why are you scared of letting me take a blood sample?"
Not scared, but
Doc, Albright. She looks at you and she lets the silence hold for a second. She goes, "You just warned me. So why are you scared of letting me take a blood sample? What happened? And
because
should the rest of the crew be seeing me?"
No, not that I'm aware of, but the oath still means something to me.
But why is the oath in play? Why don't you want me to take this blood sample without that disclaimer? You don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but I'm letting you know that you can.
I'm telling you the best way that I know how.
Okay. We can leave it at that if you want.
We
Can I-
probably should.
So, I'm going to go from being charmingly bossy to actually asking you, may I take this blood sample?
And I'm going to tell you, doctor to doctor, absolutely, as long as you are aware of the risk.
You haven't told me the risk, Albright.
That's because I don't know.
And that brings us back. And she takes the vial again and goes, to why I was asking you. So, I'll take the sample then,
Mm-hmm.
with the disclaimer that I should be aware of the risk, even though you won't tell me the risk, so I can't be aware of it. And we'll go from there.
I suppose we shall, doctor.
She puts it up against your arm and looks you in the eye as she just does this quick... You see a little bit of blood just immediately enter into the vials. The quick sample is taken. And there's a noise as immediately your arm, you feel that quick pinch, wound closing up. She takes it. Takes the vial and puts it into the sampler. What's up?
Can I ask you a question?
Oh, she puts it into the sampler. She says, yes, that's what I've been trying to get you to do.
Why did you become a doctor? And not the reason you tell people, but why did you become a doctor?
Because when I was little and I was playing house with my siblings, they all wanted to come over if I was the doctor. And that was my first moment where I realized people would want to come see me. Of course, then I discovered I liked things that were gross. Why did you become a doctor?
Because I wanted to understand God.
She nods and says, that is a much bigger answer than mine. Do you think you found God out there, Dr. Albright?
If I did, then I certainly do not understand them the way that I thought I did.
I think most of the most profound people that have ever had the audacity to write down in word the discoveries that they've experienced over the course of a spiritual life has said very similar things to what you just said.
The human body, in a very comically stupid way, makes sense. It's trips and falls into an orchestrated magnificence.
She nods.
You know, there's a saying, you put 1,000 monkeys together for a long enough time, they'll write Shakespeare.
On the flip side, it's also worth pointing out that the human body is just an amalgam of evolutionary mistakes and oopsies. There's so many things about our bodies that make no sense. That was the first medical question I asked when I was little. Why do we have a tailbone? Of course, evolutionarily speaking, I've got my answers, but why do we still have a tailbone? Things take time.
Classic in a Monty Python, Benny Hill type of way. It makes sense. The end goal makes sense. Propagate the species. We're too dumb to know we're hungry, so the body develops ways to let us know.
But it still confuses thirst with hunger many a times.
Yes.
We are definitely not. We are a work in progress.
But I ain't never seen nothing built with hate before.
The whimsical expression on her face begins to fall.
I just it's a lot out there. Colonies fighting to survive and surviving off scraps. And all of it. I needed this talk. Thank you, Doctor. I think I need to go get some noodles. The kids were right to come to your house. You are a good doctor.
Your blood is clean, by the way, though it is showing signs of radiation exposure. Nothing that you have to worry about, but yes, I would say you're probably going to have some occasional mild stomach issues from time to time. Or something along those lines. But try not to expose yourself to any more.
I'll do my best. I didn't mean to do it the first time, but still got some tricks left in me, I suppose.
She smiles and nods and says, feel free to come back and wax philosophical anytime, though. It's nice to have a fellow physician to talk to. Most of the ones downstairs are too busy. And they're new. They still have sticks up their asses. They don't know how to relax a little bit, enjoy their work.
We'll wear them down.
If we don't, Beacon will.
All right. And he's going to head out, but he's actually heading towards Hassan.
Okay, you're heading back down to the cargo bay area. Real quick,
Yeah.
Tig, where were you headed? Were you going to, because we have, right now Martha is beelining for ramen noodles, and since
I
I
probably
see,
would have tagged along for noodles.
I suspect since that's what you're doing IRL, that it's actually kind of cuts perfectly of the two of you sitting there at the table, looking around at the changes here on the promenade deck. This open space has become a little easier to walk through. The long tables are mostly gone, and you see a lot of station staff here. There's also a lot of people who are not part of the station that look like they're moving through here. Looks like groups of also other ships, other crews that are kind of sticking to their own spots. But it is worth noting, too, that it looks like a couple of the other empty spaces that were cleared out and reserved for possible commercial lease, looks like some of them have actually been purchased. Like leases have been rented out. They are to be moved into, though there's no sign as to what they're going to become. But it looks like this is pretty soon not going to be the only place down here to buy things on the promenade. Either way, though the prefab colony meals that you've all been eating on the Ilios do get the job done, Tani is quite good at making these noodles pass for what would be authentic ramen noodles. And it's easy, if you close your eyes, to imagine that this is how it probably is supposed to taste.
What do you think that one's going to be? That's a lot of window dressing for a Beacon station shop.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, my mind is going to some type of like clothing or fabric-y thing.
Oh yeah, I can see like mannequins or something in the window. Maybe that's what they're going for.
Yeah,
Build
yeah.
a whole thing. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And Beacon, I guess. I know this is what they wanted for it.
Yeah.
How about that one? Tig has been doing this for the past 10 minutes. Like, okay, what about that one? That one kind of has a sign half put up. What do we think? Yeah, like.
Right.
Do we
Okay.
notice anything like? I don't know. What's the vibe? What's the vibe of the promenade outside of like busy? Like, is there any type of like frantic energy? Is it just very chill, or is it just busy in general?
Yeah, it just feels you are seeing a couple of familiar faces, but everyone is so swamped in what they're doing. It just feels like the best way to describe the energy around here is it feels like you guys are in the middle of a packed food court during a holiday weekend.
Cool.
Except for everybody here is dressed in flight suits and worker gear. with utility belts on and stomping around in heavy boots, people calling out and cussing, and then every now and then laughter echoing. And then, of course, every now and then you can hear sometimes a familiar voice echoing out over the loudspeakers across the station, indicating that a ship is arriving or leaving, or that a crew is meant to report, that sort of thing.
Any good eavesdropping to be done?
In the chaos, normally, yes. At Beacon Station here on the main concourse, C deck is perfect for listening into other people's conversations. Here, it's like ambient noise at this point. For the first time ever, this place just feels like it is packed.
And was the long line a long wait?
Mm-mm.
It went quick.
Looks like it went by pretty quick.
Okay, I'm trying to decide if Martha would have gotten a bowl for Doc. I think she probably would have, just in case.
Okay. So you got an empty bowl that's kind of packaged up and sitting off to the side. It's made out of this thick styrofoam replacement style bowl, some kind of material that basically functions in the same manner.
Yeah, it feels good to be back, Tig.
Yeah, I'm always surprised by how much it does, you know?
Yeah, this
Like-
is becoming home, I guess.
Yeah. In a weird way. Hunk of metal in space.
Hmm.
The homie touches are coming though, and she kind of gestures at obviously the ramen soup and the like new paint that you'd said that there's, just things look a little nicer. Baby steps, I guess.
Yeah.
The two of you, as you're relaxing into the talk, something is drawing both of your attention away. It's something that makes it difficult to ease into the seat and just casual conversation that you mostly find when you sit on the main concourse. The two of you are small talking back and forth and observing the changes in the people, enjoying the food. Looming over you, circled around the entirety of C deck, the largest, thickest portion of the station, this wide open space. From every corner are the great windows that look out into the oppressive, endless, abyssal blackness of space that you all just arrived from. And as this life carries on around you, people going about their business and enjoying their food, having conversations, talking about the shift tomorrow, the normalcy of it, such stark contrast to the precipice in which you have all walked along. Each of them unaware of the things you've seen and the things you've learned. A contrast to who you were before you really started setting out when you first arrived on Beacon Station. It's a little bit of an atmosphere of unsettling quiet. It almost feels like the abyss is gazing back from beyond those windows.
So they want us back out there pretty quick, huh? Isn't that the deal?
Mm-hmm. No time to acclimate to any type of normalcy. Martha's thinking about her locker right now on the Ilios and how inside it, locked right now, is our friendly little... No, we sent that off. Never mind. We don't have that anymore. That's on that ship. Well, yeah, Martha's thinking about the locker and then like, oh yeah, no, wait. Oh God, that ship. It didn't get burned up in the sun. And you see Martha starts like rub her forehead like, oh God.
I think they probably realize they've landed in the same boat around the same time. They both just kind of like wilt a little, like, oh well, there goes the pretend normalcy we were trying really hard to hit. Has soup normal? We're on Beacon. Oh God,
Yeah.
Existential dread.
Yeah, see, literally, and Martha actually will just say this, like, being around all these people makes me think about the bioweapon that we didn't destroy.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do about it?
Yeah,
We
we
gotta
gotta
go chase it down.
If they want us on a 5-year mission or whatever, I don't know how that's gonna fit into that timeline.
I mean, it sounds like they're giving us a choice, though. We don't have to go. We can say we feel like there's more pressing things for us to do, or we can join up with them in a year or something. I don't know. I feel like we got to track this thing down.
Yeah.
Can't let it just fly off into space, or if Weyland-Yutani got its hands on it.
I feel like it's safe to say they probably already do. Or at least they know about it, know where it's going. And I think Tig like looks around and is like, I know we couldn't really hear other people's conversations, but kind of gets a little bit like, there's a lot of people around for this particular conversation.
Mm-hmm. A
We
quick glance.
gotta have a couple of team meetings, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. What's like a normal thing that we can do?
Like a normal people conversation, or like I mean, we're eating noodles. That feels pretty civilian.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Can't ask about the weather because it's a station.
Yeah, but also I feel like small talk is so ugh. Boring.
What did you want to be when you grew up? How's that? Is that deeper for you?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. I liked to take things apart and put them back together in new ways. So I always kind of saw myself doing something in that vein as a kid. I didn't know what it was called. I mean, it wasn't just like being a mechanic. It was more than that. It was like reimagining things.
I was kind of teasing, but that's really sweet, Martha. That's really sweet.
Oh.
No, I'm
Well,
glad.
now you have to answer the same
That's-
question because I was going to ask
that's-
you.
Also, the the swerve that I can't get out of now. I don't know. My parents were researchers, deep space researchers, and that was really all I grew up with, like, was science and I don't know, the betterment of humanity, and then I wasn't with them anymore, and I was on base with my uncle, and I don't know, I just saw a lot of people hurt. And I wanted that to not happen, I guess. So I was always kind of on track for medicine, but it took a little bit of a roundabout way. I don't know if I would have enlisted had I not lived on base, but you know, medicine, I suppose. A little ad hoc where I ended up, but
Yeah.
it still worked out. Ugh, gross. Sincerity.
And
all right,
look
what
at
else
us
is
now?
Hey, look at us now. Yeah, we got there. What else is civilian conversation? It tries to like, what else?
Despite y'all's best efforts for normalcy, it starts becoming more and more clear that something has changed. And even though the beacon has offered you something of a haven from where you were coming from, something in the both of you has changed from what you have seen and the things you know now. With that, we're going to cut to Isaac, who is currently pressing the button on their quarters. The door, recognizing Isaac's print, Mother opens the door and lights flicker on in the charitably described as a compartmental space that is the quarters here. To your left, Isaac, of course, the two-seater sofa and a small coffee table with a digital display up on the wall, and about 5 feet away from it, the kitchen. And just around the corner, the bedroom, the bathroom, the standard quarters, stuff that you don't necessarily even technically need, but it is nice and it's yours.
I like that part the best.
You feel the cat relax the moment you step into the quarters and starts more lazily looking about.
There we go. See? All the things you probably missed tearing up while we were gone. Here they are. Your domain. Sets down on sofa.
And immediately pads his way over and starts sniffing various things. It takes all of maybe 20 seconds before the calmness of the new environment gives him the confidence that he can absolutely put his claws into the side of the sofa and start. The synthetic material does not bend or break underneath the cat constantly pulling on it with those razor sharp tiny talons, which of course just encourages cat to do even more damage. And you just hear the dulcet tones of a cat ripping up furniture in a casual manner.
Truly impressive. Well, did my friends say when we were all meeting up? Because I know they wanted to get food and stuff.
All you know for a fact is that right now, everyone's instinct was, we don't want to deal with Baker. We're going to get food and just check to see what's going on. It
Okay.
feels like, well, I would say intentional procrastination to prolong what is the inevitable debrief that you are all destined for. Everyone kind of split their separate ways to go get some food or check out the med bay. So you, at least for an unspecified short amount of time, you do have the ability to do whatever you wish at the moment, Isaac. But as soon as you decide to motivate and get the obvious out of the way, we can initiate that scene. At least for the moment, though, you have a second to sort of take stock and do what you please.
Unspecified amounts of time are imprecise.
Stressful.
What am I supposed to do with that? I just want
Eh,
certainty.
Synthetic
It would be
is
nice.
stress. That's how you get a synthetic to gain stress levels. What am I
That's how you get a
supposed to do?
synthetic. Thank you very
Right,
much.
yeah.
That's if you want a recipe for Sam sitting in front of Baker's office so they know for sure they won't be late by never having a break in between time, given an unspecified amount of time. Isaac, meanwhile, is going to look at the recent repair and ship logs. Doc said that he would lend a hand in his way, but you can learn a lot about what's been going on at a station based on what is in for repairs and maintenance.
Nothing really standing out. You do see that the formerly titled USCSS Koi was put into dock about 2 weeks ago. It has been out on a cargo run for the past 4 months. So that must have been a lot to take in when they got back, catching up on the events that they may have missed out on. But for the most part, what you see is a lot of commercial craft coming through here. A few stops, but nothing that stands out. Lots of different styled corporate ships. It looks like also the fact that Beacon Station is no longer a subsidiary of Weyland-Yutani has opened up people willing to do business with this particular station. You're seeing craft from across the spectrum coming through here. You even see that on a few occasions, it looks like they have allowed to dock here some UPP commercial craft. That's not too unusual coming through here across the frontier. The borders are open right now. It's allowed, but nothing that stands out, nothing that looks suspicious. It all looks like a bunch of commercial craft. It looks like Beacon has just been steadily getting busier and busier. You've seen a lot of shipments arriving to Beacon, though. You see there are 4 new load lifters. 4 new lifters that have been installed down below, as well as charging bays. Right now, it looks like Dr. Khan is currently waiting for a new auto dock system that is being shipped to Beacon Station to be installed in her office upstairs. Those are very expensive and quite top of the line. Little more advanced than the mother system that is currently operating. There's also an order right now that is far down the backlog for a huge software update to the mother system as well. Those are the only things that stand out. For the most part, everything else looks like it confirms what others in the other parts of the game are slowly learning. It looks like Beacon Station is in the midst of preparing for the arrival of the Mother mission before it heads out, this being its last leg of the journey before it departs for the great unknowns past the red line. That, by the way, looks like it's only about 2 days away, is when they're scheduled to arrive. If they arrive on time or not, we'll see. But they're expected.
How much work will be involved in readying the Ilios again? And how long will that take?
That's probably a good question for Connor. You and Connor.
I mean, at least the machinery side that Isaac knows.
I was going to say, you and Connor are going to be the ones that are most qualified to answer that question. So if you would like to make a heavy machinery check.
I would.
And then it's just simply asking Connor.
Oh, okay. Simply engage in... Okay.
Connor for his part, but you need to make the heavy machinery check.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Clackety, clackety.
1, 2.
Okay. Ilios would be pretty much ready to go as soon as she gets restocked in supplies. All y'all really need to do is restock some foodstuffs. She just needs some basic maintenance and she's good to go. Maybe 24 hours. And the Ilios could be underway again if you wanted her to be. At least from your side of things. You suspect, knowing what you know, that Connor will probably tell you much the same. That the Ilios is, barring something popping up in the inspection that you guys haven't spotted, like external damage or something that's happened while y'all were in FTL, the Ilios should be good to go. Just needs a restock.
And until I hear from people, I'm going to preemptively, since it needs to happen anyway, start restocking non-perishables and things like that until I hear from the rest of my team, because we would only have about 24 hours to decide if we wanted to depart before the Mother mission departs, for instance. So I would just want to be ready.
That will require you logging a request to restock, which will put you in a queue. So the Ilios will need, so you immediately bring that up, entering your password information, stocking, basically putting yourself in line that the Ilios is going to require a supplies restock. Entering your employee identification number immediately waives any fees as you are an employee of Beacon. However, it does immediately flag that you are entering this, and not surprisingly, about 5 minutes after you enter the request, you hear Mother. Hello, Isaac. I have a message from Preston Baker.
Oh, all right. May I hear it, please?
Putting you in contact. Go ahead, Exo. Isaac?
Yes.
I just happened to look outside my window and I see the Ilios just floating out there in space, all pretty like, but no one has come to say hello.
Oh. Did you expect us immediately as soon as we landed? I had to make sure Mr. Impressive was taken care of.
That's all right.
I think that my crew are eating or something, but if we shouldn't have done that, I'll get them right away.
Isaac, I'm teasing you. It's fine. Just come up and see me and the rest of the crew. Get them all together as soon as y'all are ready. But don't keep me waiting too long.
Am I in trouble?
I don't know. Have you done anything wrong recently?
Not recently.
Well, then I would say you're just fine.
All right. Then I'll see you soon.
Oh, wait a
not very
minute.
soon.
No. Hold on a sec.
Yes.
There's a troubling silence for a moment, as though he's still on the line, but he's quiet. And then you hear, you're only supposed to bring back 2 people, and one of them is not in your manifest, and I don't recognize the other 2. Mother, could you bring up some information on these? This is... Wait a minute. What the fuck? What the fuck? All right. What the fuck? Isaac, I need the crew of the Ilios to get their asses into my office and explain to me why a Weyland-Yutani executive is here, but our geologists, no, Brown is here. Who was the other one? You had another person coming. Where's that file?
Yes. Heather Macheski?
Sure, whoever else you were supposed to pick up. Yeah, there it is. You were slated to pick.
She was unavailable.
Unavailable, right? Okay. Do me a favor. I would like you to round up everyone of the Ilios, just to double check and make sure that they got the message that I'm about to all send them.
So I should ask them if they've gotten the message that you haven't sent yet.
Correct. I'm going to send it now, and I want you to rally everyone, make sure that they got it, and tell them I'll be expecting them in 10 minutes. Can you do that for me? Thank you, Isaac. I'll see you soon.
Okay.
Baker has terminated the transmission. He is currently located in his office.
Thank you, Mother.
You're welcome, and welcome back, Isaac.
I look over to Mr. Impressive, who is to the couch, as it feels that Baker is about to be unto me. The synthetic materials will do their best to hold up.
Almost like punctuating how Dr. Impressive's life is just so much better. Folds the two front part of his paws underneath his little chest and stares at you as he gets comfortable and starts slowly closing his eyes. And then becomes completely disinterested, starts looking somewhere else.
Good night, sweet prince.
Sure enough, the crew of the Ilios hears on the loudspeaker Mother's voice. Crew of the Ilios, please report to the office of Preston Baker. And it repeats twice. Wherever you are, it's impossible to miss.
Yeah, to be fair, I forgot we had unaccounted for people on the ship that we probably should have done that first. I forgot.
You're just like, oh, yeah.
I just
Crew
let them wander
manifest,
anywhere.
and yeah.
That thing, I forgot about that. It
Yeah.
was. It's been a long. We had a lot happened. People died. You know, it's okay. We should go.
It's been a long couple of days.
So it's been a long year here.
Yeah.
I'll be waiting outside the elevator,
Yeah.
Okay.
right
Does this
outside the office.
Does this happen before Doc is able to make it to Hassan?
I would say about the moment Doc walks into the med bay down below, you get about 3 steps in when you hear that echoing over the loudspeaker.
All right. And then he just turns around to head to
Okay.
Baker.
Okay. You just, before anybody else notices that you walked in, you pivot, walk right back out the door. Well, to make a long story shorter, you all find yourselves arriving at roughly the same time on the upper tower deck. Stepping out of the elevator, you guys find yourselves in a very familiar setting that had very different implications the last time you were here, because this, of course, was under different management, we will say, before. In this case, though, as you all step out, you see the large double doors waiting for you around this big center column that is the lift for Beacon Station. Even though the Beacon Station is quite busy, up here it's busier than usual. You do see people, some of them dressed like they are working in the cargo holds, and some of them dressed a little more professionally, moving around up here. Definitely feels like more of an administrator's deck, as it were. There's a little more people that are a little more refined, like office job dressed moving about up here. But when I say office job dressed, I do mean that in the loose sense, as they're all still station staff that are quite busy doing multiple jobs. But when you arrive, it's enough of a contrast to what you are all used to walking into principal's office. Sure enough, you see the doors are closed in front of you, but as soon as you approach, they open. And you see the wide office and a couple of people inside talking to the now head of Beacon, Preston Baker, who is behind that familiar desk that you're used to seeing wafting with cigarette smoke. Instead, it is stacked with data pads and a projection of data readouts, as well as a 360 view of the station, tracking all the three-dimensional holographic projected ships that are currently docked and are entering orbit of the station. Needless to say, there is a lot of ship traffic you guys see entering the sector from here. But as you all walk inside, Baker pauses in the middle of speaking to a staff of 3, and he goes, "All right, the rest of you get out. I'll talk to you in a minute. I need to talk to these fools for a second." And they all nod. They walk past you. They don't look familiar. They're all wearing Beacon staff logos, but they look like they're probably new here. And as the door closes behind him, he kind of contemptuously tosses this data pad like it was annoying him onto the desk and leans on an elbow and says, "Do I get the whole story? What the fuck happened? What's going on and where's our missing person? What do you mean they were unavailable, Isaac?"
That was a
First
bit
of all, are you all right? Are all of you okay?
physically, yeah.
Well, honestly,
Radiation, little radiated.
my feelings
but-
are a little hurt. That's Dr. Fool.
Mm. That's Lieutenant Fool over here.
Right, Lieutenant. Right.
I'm a civilian now, so it's fine. I'm just the fool. Yeah, a little bit of an understatement. On the unavailable bit, sorry for not coming up. I think we had it was
No, it's all
rough-
right. It's
rough
all
one.
right.
It was
I-
a rough one. It was Baker. It was worse than it was not what we went to do.
What do you mean worse? Worse than what?
Well,
Worse than Paxton's? You, as most of you nod, you see him, you feel him pull back a little bit. That verging anger that was just about to start bubbling up, you suddenly is replaced with a little bit of empathy and a little bit of concern as he shifts off of his elbow and moves around the desk, leans up against it because why don't you all sit down and just take a seat and tell me what's going on?
We probably should have come up right away. I think we are a little bit scrambled.
Fine. No, it's
Priorities. Sorry.
No, it's all right. Just you're here now. You've only been here for a little bit, so just tell me what's happening. What's going on? What did you find out there? You were just supposed to be picking someone up, but that's clearly not what happened.
what's happening is that it required much of my extensive knowledge, tools, and abilities to bring back the one that you requested in one full piece. I have done miraculous medical wonders, but the other passage that you requested was too many pieces for me to bring back here in any suitable way. That about cover it?
He just
Our passengers, for clarity, are the only survivors from the colony.
Does this have anything to do with the shit that Varela was into?
Maybe.
Is it connected?
Yeah.
It's just every time I send you all out, you come back with the weirdest fucking stories.
Yeah.
What is this? So it might be connected?
We don't know. We couldn't give you an exact, whether it's the exact same, but I mean, a lot of people are dead. A lot more than Paxton's. Percentage wise, I suppose.
Baker, can I ask you something? First, I need to let you know that I can't speak for the rest of my crew, but I can tell you with a degree of certainty that I am not okay. I'm not. So, when I ask you this, I really need you to ponder on it. Because I am not a meek man. Do you really want to know? Really?
There are people you got to report to now, so it's a fair question.
I need you to look and see what you are standing in front of. You are standing in front of Marines. You are standing in front of I'm too tired to be modest, a brilliant medical scholar. You are standing in front of one of the most brilliant synthetics I have ever encountered, and we are all so tired. So do you really, really want to know what can exhaust a crew like mine?
All I think I need to know is, what are we doing about the people you brought back, and what do you plan on doing next?
The man you wanted, he's yours to do whatever that you want.
He's for the mother mission, so unless he's changed his mind, he's due to fly out with them, same as you, or
The extra. We would not be sitting here to report back to you had we not run across this individual. And our cause is a humanitarian one. It should only be expected that we might have extras.
Which extra are you talking about? There's two. Nathan Kelly is registering as a Wayland Utani executive of Jinx Research Facility. Why is he on the Ilios? And is this tied to something I don't want to know?
He's on the Ilios because everyone at the facility is dead. And these I said before, these are the only 3 survivors from the colony, so that's why he's on the Ilios. I would have preferred he weren't, but that felt rude.
All right. And this other guy who's not coming up on any of my databases, should I just not ask?
Yeah, he needs we got you some more manpower for the mother mission if needed. He's willing to. And thanks for getting out of Jinx. He said we can put him to work if you need him.
Was he part of the station staff there?
The guy, I don't know.
That's incredibly vague there, Tig.
Yeah, there was a lot of blood, Baker. There was a lot of body parts. I'm not feeling very eloquent.
All right. Tell you what. Mother mission isn't getting here for another couple of days. Why don't you all just take some long overdue R&R for that?
Question to you. Is there any cosmetic signs on Isaac showing what Isaac went through?
Surprisingly, not as many as you might expect. Okay. As Isaac is a hell of a repair job was done on Isaac, and Isaac's synthetic tissue is actually healing up quite nice. There will be anybody who looks close enough will see the vague signs of what looks like a creased scar that kind of runs much like a bullion line kind of straight down the face a little bit, but it kind of stops around the upper part of the lip, but it's not obvious. No. Also, Isaac has a full head of hair, and it hides quite well.
Okay. Yeah, the player was curious. All right.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Baker's noticed, but Baker is also Isaac is wearing the typical analytical, like absorbing information expression on their face, while Baker is kind of looking at the rest of you and noting how A, Martha hasn't said a fucking word, and B, the two of you are like, please don't make me recant what we just came out of, or recite rather what we just came out of. And it's not lost on Baker. So he says, I don't know what your plans are, but why don't you just take a couple of days? I won't put you on shift. You don't have to do anything. Just take some time. And
Thank you.
yeah, I mean, you were all long overdue for some R&R anyway. So take some time. Let me know what you want to do. The mother mission is scheduled to arrive in 2 days station time. Keep me updated where you're at with that. I have you currently listed as on this mission. If that's not the case anymore, then I need to find replacements as quickly as possible, but it's not something you have to tell me right now. Why don't you all go and we'll just say that eventually, I hope you all realize eventually, we're going to have to file a report about what happened. I don't have any control over that, especially if there was death involved. And in this way, the Newtoni executive is certainly going to report it. So the ICC alone is going to want to know. And never mind the United Nations and everybody else that gets involved, particularly the Colonial Marines, because they're out here enforcing the Colonial Protection Act. And if this was an attack from the UPP or something, they're going to want to know about it. So just gather your wits, get some downtime, but be prepared because someone is going to ask us what the fuck happened to Jinx Colony. And you don't have to tell me right now, but you are going to have to tell someone. Get out of here. Go rest. I'll talk to you all soon, all right? And Isaac, if you would like to stay, if you want to be put to work, just let me know if you don't require rest.
Doc is going to walk over to Isaac and go, you should see your friend Hassan. He had an accident while we were away.
Oh, fuck. That's right. Yeah, Hassan got injured. Happened a few days ago. Sorry, no. Happened about a week ago now, I guess. What is time?
I give the location and go,
He's low in my bay.
His arm, it had to be replaced, so it looks like you might finally have competition in arm wrestling, but you should go say hi.
Isaac will gently pull Doc along by the hand.
Okay. With that, unless there's anything else, you will all leave Baker's office and head out. Okay. The door closes behind you, and if this was a film, the camera would linger on Preston Baker as he leaned back against the desk and looks down, seemingly troubled, and in many ways very similar to Martha and Tig as he glances out the window to that darkness that lies beyond, as that beautiful curtain of night, at least in a much more subtle way, to Preston Baker is also looking a little scarier than it did yesterday. We're going to pause for our break right there. We'll be back in 10 minutes with the second half of tonight's episode of Beacon. Don't go anywhere.
Woohoo!
Welcome back, everybody, to Beacon. We're going to go ahead and jump back in where we left off. You guys just came out of Preston Baker's office. You've got 2 days of R&R, which you can spend however you wish, and Baker is still waiting for an answer as to whether or not you're going on this mother mission. So whatever you're all planning on doing, the time has come for the crew of the Ilios to figure that out. There's also, of course, some open questions about your passengers. That could be something that Baker helps you all work out, but it'll be however you all decide to go about it. You've got some free time now. And because I already know where this is going to go, we're going to just start our scene coming back with Isaac walking into the infirmary. Down on B deck, Isaac, stepping into the infirmary, this place is quite busy. But you also see that it has a fully staffed medical facility now. You see about 8 medical practitioners in here helping people, talking folks over, nursing a couple of bumps and bruises. But you do see there's a couple of medical beds in the back, 4 to be exact. 2 of them look newly installed, and are nice and comfy, you do see the large body of Hassan sleeping rather contently on the medical bed. Surprising, since most humans usually cannot sleep with this level of noise around them. Hassan, however, a gentle snore escaping him as you approach the medical bed. You do see that it does have what looks like a readout underneath the end of his bed, where you see some of the data popping up and indicating his vitals, which all look good. But it is not difficult to spot the raised synthetic arm that he has in a sling that is just kind of keeping a little bit of elevation right now. You can see some of the bandages around the area where it has been attached, as well as a monitor to see how the nerves and all the flesh is kind of weaving together with the synthetic impulses and whatnot. Look like they're reading quite fine to the brain. Everything looks like it's in tip-top shape. It also looks like this is a synthetic arm that is going to be allowed what would appear to be a synthetic dermal layer to cover it once it is good to go. Which also you see that it looks like on the medical charts, which are visible to you as you approach, it looks like they have taken it looks like they've taken requests from Hassan. Patient has written down a few things he's requested, and also rightly so, has demanded that whatever synthetic skin tone that they get, that it matches his current. He's also made a couple of inquiries. You can see visibly on the chart. He has made inquiries about the ability to modify this arm or decorate it, and has been asking questions about that. You can be there too if you want.
Okay, yeah.
Unless,
yes.
yeah. Okay.
Isaac grabbed Doc's hand to bring him with them. So
Gently.
Doc
Okay.
is there.
Gently.
Would I know about tattooing synthetic skin?
Yes, and as fact, so would Hassan.
Okay.
As Hassan has been practicing on Isaac. So
Okay.
yeah, at the moment, as you most of this is you're flipping through it and just kind of swiping through a couple of the medical records. Hassan does not, judging from what you're reading here, Hassan has been really cavalier about this and mostly seems to be somewhat irritated that it's put him out of commission.
Isaac looks over to Doc, like hoping for the summary, please, for those of us who don't speak medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Sam basically role playing what it's like to be the rest of us around them at the moment.
Oh, that set the bar high. All right.
Mhm.
No, okay. Well, you both are about to have a little bit more in common. That is to say, his arm is very much like yours now. He's going to be fine, healthy, still stubborn as a mule. I can already tell from these notes.
Where's that in the blood tests?
It's right. He's just stubborn, not actually mule-like.
Oh.
He's gonna be fine, Isaac. He is fine, actually. Right? Just needs a little bit of rest.
What do you use all that rest for?
Dreams, nightmares, recovering.
What do you use that rest for?
Used to use it to see my boy most of the time. A little less so recently. But sleep is a wondrous thing that we don't quite fully understand. I'm sure that that our friend here is imagining all of the new designs that he's gonna put on, or trying to recollect the ones that he lost. Probably has defeated you a countless number of times in arm wrestling, in there at least.
In dreams. It's the whole body, you know. And I say this a little to Hassan, you know, just sleeping. It takes the whole body to be very strong, to be good at arm wrestling. The arm alone isn't enough.
I'm just gonna slide next to Hassan and go, "You gonna let them talk shit to you while you sleeping like that, boy?"
Perhaps it is a testament to the ability to sleep in places that are noisy, but all you get back from Hassan is the gentle snore of a very large man who is completely to be asleep right now. He's not under any sedatives either. You just get that, just like you were told, he can sleep in noisy environments.
He's always like this.
He's gonna be fine though. I should have told you a bit sooner. I was gonna come and visit myself just to make sure they were in a proper state to have your visit,
But he is, and he's going to be fine. Right?
Of course, yes, it's gonna be just fine. Look, I can't help but wonder, do you have any questions about this? Is there anything that is piquing your curiosity about all of this?
Well, sometimes organics break like I do, and you get replacement parts like I do, like Tig does, like Kazan has.
That is the case best of times.
Right, and sometimes you can't replace enough, like Yukov.
Right. It's all right. It's just us here for the moment. I just wanna make sure that just with everything that's happened these days, that there may be times where there are no replacement parts for some of us. You understand? And that's okay.
Well, but there's so many parts available, and you're around.
And I have, and I will always do what I can as long as I'm around. But I just want you to understand there may be a time when I am not around, and that is fine. That is the way things occur.
I guess I'm more indestructible than you.
Very much so. In fact, I'm a mite jealous these days. I have to tell you, if I did half of the things that I've seen you do these last couple of weeks, well, maybe put me in a box.
Well, the only time they'd put me in a box forever is if someone decided not to bring me back. Maybe it's better for it not to be decided by other people.
I can't say that I disagree with you, but I'd like to think that you are a lot more in charge of your own decision these days.
Or my skull gets crushed again. But really hard this time. That could happen too. I put my hand on your... I'm not really indestructible. You know that, right?
Yeah, of course. I've been studying. It's just really difficult to take you out, and me, a 40-yard dash would just about do it, I think.
Pat your arm. A little relief. Okay, you get it.
All right. Well, keep a lookout on your friend, or at least check back in on him. I think I'm gonna prescribe him a friendly face.
I'm going to post up on top of whatever cabinet or something is from this, like, I guess, sort of secondary makeshift area.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just perch.
Okay.
Yeah, Doc is going to walk out, find a quiet place, and just crack open that box of cigarettes.
Pop it open. You are met with the sweet, sweet scent of really cheap, poorly cut tobacco.
That's good hypocrisy.
You lean back against the bulkhead and just look up at the fatigued metal ceiling above you, listening to the sounds of the station all about you. You will, I don't know if you have any more stress on your character sheet, but just keep in mind that smoking a cigarette does, in fact, reduces your stress by 1.
That just got rid of the last one, finally.
Yeah. I would also point out the long-term effects of this habit that you have, but characters in the Alien universe don't have to worry about long-term effects of anything, so we'll just move on. I was just thinking about it. I was just thinking about, like, should I say smoking is dangerous? But I was like, no, in the universe with xenomorphs, like, have a fucking cigarette.
Even if there was a universe with xenomorphs, don't any of you smoke that?
I got one point of radiation. It's time to live recklessly.
Yeah. right. All right. Does anybody have any specific activities you would like to do in the 2 days leading up to the arrival of the Mother mission? Is there any scenes you'd like to have? Otherwise, the way this will function is your characters essentially restore. You are all relieved of any of the stress that you have. You can go back down to 0. You're also going to get paid, which is handy, especially during XP time. So that is going to come through. And I do have an event, but I want to find out what y'all are planning first.
I think at some point Doc does plan on seeing Baker.
You want to wait? You want to what now, Baker?
Plan on seeing Baker.
Oh, okay.
What do you think?
I heard log unseen Baker, and I was
okay. No.
I was like,
there's an invisible Baker somewhere in the station.
And you're going to log them. You're going to make sure that this gets added to the log.
I'm accounting for all the Bakers. Baker gets unseen.
The unseen Baker.
I cast log unseen. Baker.
Yeah.
Log unseen.
Captain's log. There was a Baker. He was unseen.
Mother log unseen.
Yeah. All right. In which case,
I have something too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you go first. I've just had to see. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, just whatever. I just wanted to log unseen Baker real quick. I like that being a new phrase of ours. Log unseen
I know, right?
Baker. Can I just log an unseen Baker right now? Okay. So Martha would definitely like to check in with Murani about ship security and also just because, I have like 3 jobs, man, at least 3 jobs on Beacon. And so when I am on Beacon, Martha's going to be always just checking the systems, doing updates, whatever is needed when she passes through. So those 2 things.
So Martha, Martha, you are going to find out that you have a message waiting for you.
Oh, okay.
A high priority message waiting for you. So when you start to do the things you've suggested, you discover Mirani. Before you even get around to Mirani, what you discover is that in your quarters you have a high priority message from one Brigadier General Roberts.
Oh, my favorite. Okay.
When
I'm gonna listen
you
to it.
when you
Watch it.
when you access the message, it is text based, but you see that it is cleared with the proper authorization codes indicating that it's an authentic message, indicating a request for a status update and full report.
Oh, great. Not at all what I've been dreading.
You do, by the way, have access to real-time transmission if it is high priority.
Okay. Look at when it was sent.
It was sent about 8 days ago.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, they've waited this long. I think I'm going to have to check back in with my team to see what we are reporting and what we're not reporting. So I'm going to mark that as unread.
Okay.
And how's Mirani?
Well, reporting with Mirani is not as easy as it used to be. Mirani, what you discover is somebody with their hands full. Station security is being pushed to the limits because Mirani has not scaled back her scrutiny that she puts on everybody who enters the station. Despite the fact that traffic has increased fourfold, it is still subjected to Mirani's meticulous nature. When you finally catch up to her, while she is where everything is happening. You catch her just as she's leaving D deck about to head back down to cargo deck. She spots you and goes, "Oh, hey, Martha." And she moves past you and says, are you looking for me? As she strides towards the lift and starts pressing the button impatiently.
Yes, I can come with you. You look like you're in a rush somewhere.
Always. Follow me. She moves over to a hatch and pulls open the hatch where you see the service ladder. She immediately just starts going down.
All right. Didn't get my exercise today.
You are immediately surrounded by the ambient roaring noise of the inner workings of Beacon Station, no longer insulated from that inside the hallways. It's just metal piping and machinery all working around you. She calls up to you and says, "Did you need me for something? Did someone do something? Need to file a report or whatever?"
Oh, yes. Just while I'm back.
Hold on. She leans out and says, "What?"
While I'm back station side, I wanted to see if there's anything in particular you wanted my eyes on.
Hold on. And she continues going down. It's a long climb down to the other deck. When she finally gets down one deck, she hops off the ladder, reaches over to the hatch and opens it up and pulls herself through. You see her boots just disappear into the hatch. And then she extends a hand out to you.
Okay.
Watch your head. And she pulls you out, closes the hatch. She goes, "All right, I got a few moments. You wanted me? What did you want? Sorry."
I'm just back station side for at least a couple of days. I'm not sure when I'm going to ship out again. So just wanted to do my usual check-ins, check all the comms and everything. Is there anything you wanted my eyes on in particular? Anything happen while I was gone?
Check with Villalobos. He's going to be the best person to ask. I am losing my fucking mind right now. So unless you want to go full Colonial Marine on someone's ass or offering to let me call you up if I need somebody to get their ass kicked, let me know. Otherwise, I have to go. It's good to see you, though. She pats you on the shoulder. Let's catch up when the shift is over with. And she starts jogging away.
Okay. Interesting. I'm going to continue going up to Villalobos.
Okay. It does take a hot minute because of the activity of constantly moving, constantly traveling station staff, moving about the station. After about 15 minutes, you finally manage to get up to the observation tower, the highest point on Beacon Station and the comms platform where avionics is located. And in avionics, you see the dimly lit circular office room of one Villalobos. There is no music playing when you enter. The place is cleaned up, and Villalobos is up here by himself still and is just wheeling over to the comm station and listening in and looks up at you and goes, "Holy shit, Martha!
Hey, I'm back in the flesh.
You're the first person I've seen in 2 days."
Wow.
Yeah. What's going on? Did you? Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on one sec.
Yeah, take
They're not talking to me. What's up?
Oh, just checking in. I saw Marani, or yeah.
Oh, she's
and-
alive? That's good. That's a good sign.
Okay, what is going on? Because yes, she seemed all over the place, and she seemed like she had some people who needed disciplining or something. What is going on?
Yeah. It's because everything's disorganized right now because the mother mission is about to show up. So station is completely freaking out because we're about 24 hours away from their expected arrival. And since this is our big first, cargo transfer, station transfer, personnel transfer stuff, Baker's a little on edge because he wants to make sure we put on a good impression. There'll be a lot of people from the UN, from Siegson, from Wayland Yutani, the UPP, Colonial Marines even have a presence. Like everybody's going to be on this thing, and they're all heading out to the frontier, beyond the frontier, or whatever the fuck they're going. So Preston just wants to make sure we put on a good show for everybody. And so he's got the whole station going double time. Once the mother mission's gone, I suspect things will chill out a little bit around here, but it's a big deal. There's going to be news crews.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Do you okay, I have so many questions. Do you get ship what's the word? It's like a log for the manifest. You get ship manifest before ships arrive, right?
Yeah, usually like whatever AI they're using, typically a mother will communicate them straight to the Beacon Station.
Is that classified in any way? Like, could I take a look? You said there's some Marines on there. I just want to see if it's anyone I know.
On the mother mission?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have the full details of that.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Can you let me know if
I can request it. It's
yeah,
easy
if
enough.
it comes in.
Sure.
I could.
I could ask, but they're not technically staying at Beacon Station. They're literally just picking up personnel and supplies, and then they're headed off.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. I just don't. Yeah. I'm just wondering.
Yeah. Usually, you don't have to log that shit unless you're actually staying on board Beacon. If you're staying on Beacon, then we got to know what you got on you.
Right.
It's kind of just the ICC gets really pissy about that shit. But this is not necessarily commercial craft. It's like a big governmental thing, a joint effort between the UPP and the three worlds, and the whole. You know how it goes.
Yeah. But Marani also literally said something that made me think that people are crossing
drinking.
Well, that yes.
Yeah, no, she needs to fucking just she needs to chill out, but she can't because she's got a huge job, so she needs some time off. That one, poor thing. She's juggling a lot of knives. You know what I mean? I feel bad for her, but then I don't have to be around her, so it's not that bad for me.
Well, I mean, speaking of, I came up here to see, is there any comms or security things that I should take a look at in particular? I was just going to do my regular sweep and
you are looking at the chillest place in the entire station. They don't let me play my music anymore, though.
Oh no! How are you dealing with that? Because I feel like the music was helpful to you.
Well, I bought a guitar, but it's gonna take 4 months for it to get here. So
oh my god,
I'm just doing lots of waiting.
Okay.
Lots of waiting. I get to play. Hey, when I'm off shift, I get to play music. So, but Baker put a stop to that shit. So, what are you gonna do? I think it's because I think it's gonna become nicer once the mother mission's gone. I think once that's gone, it'll be chill.
Had to tighten up ranks briefly.
Yeah. It made me clean it up. I've got my bed up here though. Check this out. I got a little sleeping area over here. It's easier to get to work. I don't have to wait 30 minutes for the damn lift whenever I want to get up to the comms platform, So I just sleep up here. I do bathe. So tell Tig, it's happening. You get to know I am bathing. So I'm remembering to eat. So tell Doc. and just
great.
and then tell Isaac that said hi. Oh, and Marani, she I don't I think Doc should have a talk with her, because I think she's one of these people that I think needs to have someone corner her and be like, hey, you need some rest, you need to take some time off, because she's been
Ah,
nonstop for the past 3 weeks, like nonstop, and no
jeez.
one can talk to her. No one can talk to her.
Jeez. Yeah.
Yeah, she gets pissed off, and you don't want to see a pissed off Marani, so.
Okay. Noted. All right. Is there
Uh,
anything else you need?
No, I guess I should point out here that there's been a couple of transmissions to your quarters that I've logged receiving. I have not looked at them. I don't think I could if I wanted to, but
A
I know.
couple?
Yeah, I guess. Well, a couple. I don't know. Oh, hold on. And he goes over and taps a few buttons in on this virtual display on the screen. And says, "Okay, so one, but
Okay.
you've got one. You've got one. It looks like it's encrypted. It looks like it's from the USMC. So I don't know.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So how's that going anyway? Are you like, I heard you're a lieutenant now.
Yeah. I am. I mean, it feels the same, but slightly more stressful,
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
How's the new pilot working out?
Good.
He
He's
seems
very good.
I know this is gonna sound bad, but he seems like he was how do I put this? There's no way to say this without sounding like an asshole, but I just need to point it out. Like, he looked like he was a guy who was probably should be thinking about retirement,
Well,
Does he measure up? I mean, I know he's no, I know he's no he's
Martha's just like waiting.
he's no O'Donnell, is what I mean.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, not many people can be an O'Donnell, but
But he's all right.
no, he's great. And I think the word you're looking for is he's seasoned. I know
I mean,
you're
it makes him sound like a tasty chicken to me, but yeah, if you want to call him decent.
yeah. I know you're a pretty young guy, but the older people, older than you, don't take kindly to being
Right.
told they should retire until they're ready to.
I mean, it's also kind of like looking into the mirror in a way, because if I don't start putting some money away, I'm going to be in my whatever age he is also working. It's not like retirement's good for people who work out on the frontier. You know what I mean? You just keep working. You just keep working.
Yeah, it's not easy. And this whole system we live in also makes it sometimes impossible for people to retire.
Yeah. Hey, listen, are you allowed to get high? I know you, because I got some shit here. If you got some time, if you want to, it's like I can't play music anymore, so I got to do something up here. You know what I mean?
You're lit on shift?
Oh, I'm lit right
shifting?
now. Are you kidding me? Oh, yeah. No, I don't. There's no way I'm sitting up here by myself in the dark just for hours and hours on end without getting a little baked.
Please tell me there's like a medical reason we can point to for this.
I
right?
mean, space is stressful, right? I mean, we could.
Okay, anxiety. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
What do you have?
He just slides a box over and he goes, I got a lighter over here.
Okay, what drugs do you have?
Oh, nothing heavy, man. No. Oh shit, Marani would have my ass. I'd be in the brig right now. No, I don't do that. I got a future to look out for, No, I just smoke a little. That's all. Nothing
Got
wrong
it.
with that. Yeah.
I would take I have 2 days off actually.
Here's your 2 days right here. He slides a box over and pops it open.
What do I see in the box?
It's a stash of finely clumped together pockets of what looked like a plant-like substance that has a very familiar scent to it. It looks
so
like it's
tempting.
perfect for rolling, and looks like there's materials there for it as well.
Here's the thing. Actually, Martha's now pausing because like I am a lieutenant now, and like even though I'm far from there's literally going to be a Marine, someone pulling up to the station tomorrow.
There might be a commanding officer getting off that ship. You
Yeah.
never know if somebody would. I mean,
it just can't
no,
go
it's
down
okay.
like that for Martha.
Don't worry about it. You know what? Catch me next time. Don't tell anybody. But
Oh, of course not.
You
Just
know-
don't.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, don't tell
Yeah.
anybody. But on D deck, you know how we had the garden
Mhm.
hydroponics.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. This ain't the last of it. So if you ever
Nice.
change your mind, you just give me a heads up.
Okay. Noted.
All right. Space weed, man. It's good stuff. It's good shit. All right. Well, don't tell anybody. And he closes that up and he slides it underneath his container and just puts it back into what looks like this, which could be kind of called like a desk drawer. Just kind of slides it in. It says, "Mother, you're not going to tell on me, are you? It is my duty to report any illicit substances on board Beacon Station."
Except when such substances are actually for medical needs like anxiety. Right, Martha? Right, Mother?
I would have to review mission logs
Oh,
for
jeez.
reference to find out if that would be the case, Martha.
I'll talk to Doc. I say to Villalobos.
Yeah, give me a medical pass. That'd be all right. It's fine though. Baker finds out, he'll just be angry, but then he'll have some and he'll be fine. But
I'm just, you're so young. I just worry about you sometimes. But then I also just miss having that kind of fearlessness of, not being worried that you'll be fired.
well, the thing is, I'm literally the only operator on Beacon Station that knows how to work the comms platform. So until they finally get some more staff up here, this is the way it is for the moment. And I don't mind too much because I don't ever want to go out on one of those things. And he points out the window where you see ships coming and going. He's like, travel is fine, but I'm a station kid, I don't like going out there. My brother joined the Marines. That was not for me. I was like, nope, not me. But thanks. No, don't worry about me. Like Baker knows me. He knew my father. We go way back. Got me this job.
Oh, so he's like your uncle?
No, not really. Baker's also served. It wasn't like full-time military kind of guy, but doesn't talk much about it. But my dad was, so that's how they got to know each other.
He served with your dad?
I think they served side by side. I don't think they were in like a unit or anything, but I think because my dad was military, but I think Baker was like a contractor or something like that. This was like 30 years ago or whatever. So
You're like an onion. Every time I come up to see you, just peeling back more and more layers.
I mean, this has been my life for the past year, so. Man, I haven't had a conversation, and I can't remember the last time I had a conversation. I usually talk to Mother,
Well, you said you hadn't seen anyone else in 2 days?
Yeah, I mean, but that's kind of my fault. I told Baker if I could avoid it, I would. He kind of raised a fuss about it. And Baker comes up from time to time. He hasn't been up lately, though, because of how busy everything's been. But he calls up here from time to time, Make sure everything's moving smoothly. Make sure I'm sleeping, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Have you tried the new ramen place, by the way?
Oh, no, not yet.
Okay.
No.
I mean, that's a great opportunity to A, get out of this space, B, be around other humans, C, maybe talk to other humans, and D, get amazing food. That's A, actually. Shift everything else down one.
I could do that. I mean, Mother pretty much runs most of the comms out here for the day-to-day anyway. So
yeah, take some breaks. Take some meal breaks.
yeah, maybe I will. What about you? What are you guys up to? Ilias just got into dock, so.
Yeah, we just got back. Not sure when we're gonna head back out. We haven't made decisions about that.
Are y'all on the mother mission? Are you going? Because Baker mentioned that he was sending one of our crews out there. Is that you guys?
Might be. We
Holy shit.
we haven't decided fully on that. We might have some loose ends to tie up from our last mission. So we would have to forego going out on the mother mission.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, because I guess you'd be gone for a while if you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's 5 years.
Fuck that. That's
Yeah.
not, I wouldn't do it. Nuh-uh. That's how you get as old as your pilot. All of that, seriously, like all that travel and hypersleep. He's probably like 300 years old and doesn't even.
He might be.
Yeah. Spending all that time in hypersleep, man. That's my uncle was a trucker, like used to drive ships like the Ilios actually all the time. Dude, like when he got back to Earth, he had grandchildren that he had not met yet, and all of his children were in their 80s.
Oh my God.
And he was still, I mean, he was already like an old man, but he wasn't like, he looked like he's like as old as Albright.
Wow.
He looked like just a normal guy, you know, kind of middle-aged, but yeah, hypersleep, man, it takes a toll. It's not just you pay more than just bills, you know what I mean? There's a price to space travel that a lot of people don't think about.
You have a lot of time to think up here, huh?
I do a lot of that, yeah.
When's your next birthday, by the way?
What month is this?
I don't know.
Hey, mother, what month is this? She immediately rattles off that it's late April. He just says, okay. So I guess it's next April.
Oh, wait. When was your birthday?
April 1.
No comment. Did you celebrate it?
I think I slept. Yeah, it's good.
Okay then. And how old did you just turn?
I mean, on paper, I guess on paper, I'm probably 34.
On paper?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been awake my whole life. This, like I said, hypersleep, man. Like
Right.
I've worked a lot of shifts on other stations.
Got it. How?
I started doing this work when I was 19. So
Right.
I'm probably somewhere in the middle, like around 25.
Yeah. Okay.
Because-
That's more your energy, I feel like.
There's a record out there of how old I am. I don't even really care anymore. When I start developing like aches in my knees, then I'll be like, okay, I guess I'm middle-aged now.
Yeah,
take it from
definitely
there.
25.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, can I don't want to get into shit that's not my business, but you come off like a woman who's this is gonna sound so much worse than I mean it to, like I'm about to say it and I'm
God.
stopping myself, you know, like, whoa, don't say that because that's gonna sound weird. But what I was gonna say is, and let me finish the sentence so that I can give context to what I'm about to say, because it's gonna sound like a bad pickup line. What I was gonna say is you look like you sound like a woman who's lonely. And what I mean by that is you sound like you feel isolated or something, like shit's going on and you feel a little like you seem like some of the way you're talking to me, you seem a little like you're disconnecting a little bit. Does that make sense? I mean, this is Colonial Marine shit. You don't have to tell me if it's like top secret stuff, but it's just you're the only person aside from Baker who makes it a point to come up here and talk to me. And this is the second time, and I got the vibe the first time around. So,
Well, I do have things that I'm not allowed to tell people outside of my mission.
Oh.
So maybe you're picking up on that.
That's probably what it is. I don't need to know. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. But yeah, this is just my way of saying like, hey, you know, Beacon, we're all family. Beacon staff, you know, especially OG crowd like you and me, because you were like one of the first, you and the Ilios crew, y'all were like first wave Beacon, you know what I mean? back
Yeah.
during Varella's days. Oh man, we should
Oh
call
my
ourselves
God.
something.
Oh my God.
Man, that woman was a trip. She was just like so many fucking secrets, you know? Like,
Speaking of secrets, yeah.
yeah. Still, like, I find I started hearing, stuff about what happened. As fucked up as it all is, I wouldn't wish that on anybody, man. But I mean, I guess she's off the map now.
Yeah, I wonder what they did with her.
Oh shit.
Yeah, she got taken into custody from what I remember.
Yeah, no, she's dead. Did you not hear about that?
Wait, what? No.
She's dead. Yeah. They found her dead in prison cell.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
When?
When was that? I guess that was like 3 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah. It sounded suspicious too, from what I heard. So, yeah, man. Like after losing everything that she lost, and it made the news.
Oh my God. Wow. That is sad to hear.
Yeah, Baker wasn't talking about it. He seemed like really disturbed and upset about it. There's a lot of people, I think, that had mixed feelings about it. I don't think anybody wanted her to die. I think there's a lot of us who were kind of upset at her, but
Yeah, same, exactly.
yeah, man, it's weird.
Yeah. Well, thanks for telling me. I hadn't heard at all.
Yeah, it's kind of news. It's interesting because nobody wants to talk about it. Like I think everyone just has weird feelings about it.
Yeah.
So.
Mm.
Oh man. Yeah, I know. I didn't think about it, but Isaac probably doesn't know either. Isaac had a closer relationship with Varela than anybody. I mean, not that they're close anymore, but
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
yeah, I feel like my whole crew probably didn't. We were out, on mission.
Don't be angry at anybody for not telling you guys this stuff. The truth is like everyone has been so slammed and so caught up in their own shit. Like, and I don't even know if everybody knows y'all are back yet.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't be upset about people not telling us that. That's not. I mean,
did you hear about Hassan?
I did. I heard
Okay.
briefly he had an accident.
Yeah, he tried to fall asleep under a power loader. He got cold, and so he pulled it over him. That's what he was saying as a joke when he was dragged into the infirmary. He said he got cold, and so he tried to pull a power loader over him to warm himself up. Really, he almost got his ass crushed by one.
Oh my God.
No, he's fine though. He's got a new synthetic arm, so he's good.
Wow.
Yeah. He's gonna brag about it now. He's just gonna brag about it.
Ooh. That's probably going to be really good for him for the competitions he and Isaac do.
Yeah, maybe.
Well,
all right. He says, listen, if I get quiet this long, Baker starts to notice, Mother starts to notice, everyone starts to notice, so I'm going to get back on comms. But, feel free to just come in and drop by and shoot the shit anytime you want.
Yeah, also, can you just take breaks whenever you want?
Pretty much.
Okay, then you will see me more than once over the next couple of days.
Sounds good.
All right.
Get ready, too, because the closer we get to the Mother mission arriving, the crazier this place is going to be absolutely boiling over the top. You know what I mean? So just be ready for that.
Noted. All right, Viola was.
Yeah, and don't take it too personally if Marani snaps at you. She's been yelling at everybody. It's not personal. She just needs someone to tell her to take some time off.
All right. I need to talk to Doc about a few things.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll see you soon. Don't work too hard. I'll see you soon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. See you soon.
Mm-hmm. Don't work too hard.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
Don't work too
No,
hard.
not
Oh,
you.
sorry. Okay. I'm just Martha just backs out of the room
You
awkwardly.
just back out of the room as you hear him go back into a conversation with somebody on the comms.
Always an interesting visit with Villalobos.
Okay, what were you doing, Doc? You're muted, unless you're trying to be secretive.
I'm being mad secretive.
Okay.
I think it would actually, if that's only if it's okay with you, Martha, it'd be cool for Doc to run into Martha, because I think that plays out well with where Doc is actually going, which is to Baker after this.
Okay.
Absolument.
So I think Doc just kind of sees you while he's on his way to the lift. Martha, how you doing?
Oh, Doc. Just the person I wanted to see.
All right, what else here?
It's just us in the lift. GM.
At the moment, no. There's about 7 other people in here.
Oh, right. It's busy, right? Can we? There's a couple of things I wanted to talk to you about on behalf of people on the station. Can we just talk privately somewhere? Like, where are you heading to? Are you on your way somewhere?
Nowhere now. And you see he presses the button for the medical area.
Okay. You're heading down to the infirmary?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my goodness. I forgot. I got you some ramen, but then it was taking a while. So I figured you would want it fresh anyway. So I gave it to someone else.
It's not my proudest moment, but I think I stole somebody else's bowl. It's fine.
Oh, well, then it all evened out, it sounds like.
I'll make it up to whoever it was.
Cut to Morani getting a police report.
We're gonna find who did this.
We're gonna find out who's
We're gonna make him pay.
Yeah.
The noodle dabber.
Yeah. Noodle Nabber. You're gonna be careful, because that is a nickname that will absolutely stick to you for the rest of your life.
By day, just a mild mannered doctor, but by night,
a chain smoking noodle nabber.
Chain smoking noodle nabber definitely sounds like some kind of band name, some kind of something.
Oh yeah, I can head down to the infirmary. I'm sure I can shore off a quiet enough space for us to talk. Is everything all right?
Yes. I just did my little check-ins with my people, and
well,
yeah,
that's comforting and convincing. I think Doc's just gonna kind of hold his tongue until we get to the infirmary, where he could just kind of shore off a room to themselves, if that's at all possible.
It is not. Not in the infirmary. It is completely packed down here. There's some areas that are sectioned off to allow some of the patients to recover, where people are not allowed to stand, but then you'd be standing next to patients that are recovering.
Did you mean the med bay?
I'm at the med bay.
Oh, the med. Okay, so yeah, basically Dr. Khan's office, which is much quieter. Yeah, you can. So then you'd be heading up.
Oh yeah,
okay,
that's
cool.
where I meant to go.
Yeah, so you basically, you basically head up to H deck, which would be the old science module. But yes,
would he have a space in the med bay? I kind of assume that he might have.
On Dr. Khan's, not really, because you're not technically station. You're not station bound staff. You know what I mean? Your medical office is technically the Ilios, but you can certainly enter into that. There's 4 spaces for laboratories and 2 office spaces on H deck in the science module, and that's where she is located. So it's easy enough to head up there. And the operations center is located above, so you can use one of those offices easily.
I think if he bumps into the doc, he's just gonna go, "You mind if I borrow one of your offices? Look, you just have a quick chat."
She says, "Of course." She looks like she's scrolling through something and kind of absently looks up and says, "Yeah, of course. Go ahead."
Wonderful. Just guide Martha in. All right.
Okay. Okay. So just to summarize, because they are patients. It's not actually my business, but I got permission from Vio Lobos to actually talk to you on behalf of him. So, oh God, Martha literally does chuckle, realizing like, oh my God, this is ridiculous.
How is the young man, by the way? Is he?
He's
getting it?
better. He's doing so much better. And honestly, Doc, I think one of the reasons he's doing better is because he is partaking in some
Showers.
yes.
Okay.
And the reason he is showering more often is because he is partaking in some extra herbal supports that are not typically condoned of
Marijuana.
Yeah. So I was wondering,
Are you asking me to prescribe him? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Pulls out the notepad.
Great.
I'm
Can you, while you're at
prescribe it for the entire crew.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Doc.
I am going to need to verify that this is able to alleviate the anxiety myself. So I will require a sample.
Yes,
as
of course,
well.
of course. He's not there. Well, oh wait, I'm not supposed to tell you, but you're good at it.
You're not supposed to tell me, Will.
Well, yeah, I already have told you. He said someone's growing it in the hydroponics lab. Don't tell anyone. I wasn't supposed to tell anyone.
Well, now here's my question,
Martha the narc.
Here's my question. Would it be better for us to attempt to keep this a secret, only for it to inevitably be discovered by someone? Or would it be better to have, I don't know, a medical individual request that it is grown for future patients who might need it?
That part. Second one.
There has got to be rules. With all of the substances that they have in the Alien Core book, there's got to be rules for this.
Look, there's got to be rules, and yet here our flight controllers are.
When you have one of the most advanced AIs ever created by humankind managing most of the job.
Quick, someone pull up the space weed mechanics.
Let
in
this
the
be a
alien
lesson
in the core
in the
book.
dangers of relying too heavily upon AI.
Space weed.
Space weed.
I'll see a chat going, this is where Doc starts
Pharmaceuticals.
using. And I'm like, starts?
Recreational drugs.
Oh, hey.
Recreational drugs says get wrecked, cannabis, tobacco, and certain doses of steroids, benzodiazepines.
Benzodiazepines.
Thank you.
Don't.
Thank you very much.
I was like, that's a different one.
Prescribed recreational drugs by corporate physicians. The price varies. It actually gives me prices. That's amazing. Varies from a pack of $5 of cigarettes to $60,000 for a kilo of benzo. Okay, well, we're
Those
not doing that.
extremely habit forming.
I believe it. Do not abuse them.
Yes, so I'm just saying, Martha, you can choose whether I heard what I heard or not. But I would say that if I did hear what I heard, then it might behoove the entire station that I put in a formal request to Baker that we grow this herb for future patients with anxiety.
I think you heard what I said about Villalobos perhaps needing it.
Oh, well, I mean, there's the prescription right there.
And also the rest of us. So yeah, you heard that part.
I do want to point out that it explicitly states that cannabis is a legal drug prescribed for recreational use by corporate physicians.
Great.
Yes.
Then we're right on. Yes, we're great.
And I'll put in the prescription for a couple cc's of that good kush. For that dinky dow, for that purple haze.
Fantastic.
I usually report mine in milligram.
Okay.
A couple milligrams of that giggle smoke. I've got you, Martha.
All of a sudden, Doc's whole demeanor changes. And the months of spending facing down cosmic horrors and threats, looking for any sign of his long lost son after the horrific battles of the colonial wars.
This
It all
is all
seems to-
Doc needed.
It all seems to bleed away for a moment. And a different side of Dr. Albright emerges.
This is the most character bleed,
Yeah.
character bleed we've ever done.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you needed to tell me, Martha?
Oh, yes. Now this is not any type of protected patient thing. It's just observations.
Mhm.
I ran into Marani and noticed that she was very stressed. And then I also talked to Villalobos, and he mentioned that she's been working nonstop. People have not been able to get her to clock out and take a break. She's just super wired and might need, someone to check in on her medically.
Consider it done. I'm actually glad that I ran into you
Yeah.
about this mother mission.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to know if I might ask my friend Martha the person, not Martha the Marine, how you are truly feeling about it.
Huh. I mean, honestly, what's wild is I'm military. I usually just get sent where I'm sent and I have no say in it. So it's been hard to even think about what I actually want. I don't know. But so that said, I wouldn't, I would go on the mother mission if that's what our crew decides. I'm sticking with this crew. I think we work well together and we have some things that we've been through together. So I don't want to break up that team just yet. But I will say, that said, I think it will bother me if we don't see what's on that other colony planet. That's going to bug me. That's going to eat at me.
The reason that I ask you, Martha, and you are the only one that I have confided this in, is that I do not believe I can medically clear myself to go on that mother mission. I think that I am compromised and I would not be of any assistance.
I see. I mean, I can probably say the same. I mean, if it's medical, but I think the brain is part of the body, so it's medical that I am obsessed with what happened, what we saw, and I want to do whatever I can to stop those things. I can't just move on and be on a 5-year mission and wonder what happened. I can't.
That is where I'm at. And the reason that I needed to ask you is because it is a lot more palatable for others to believe that an old man like myself just ain't got it in them to go on this mother mission. But
Well, Doc, I mean, but the thing is, if we're planning, are you saying you don't want to?
I'm saying that Baker is looking for an answer. And he's looking for one quickly. And I don't want to be separated from y'all because the only thing that makes sense in everything that I've seen, the only constant that I can hold on to that keeps me together is you, Tig, Isaac, and even our crouchity pilot. It's And so when I speak to Baker, I intend to tell him that I can't clear myself. And I hope that I might be able to convince him to find another team. But I don't feel that I can take this away without at least having asked all of you. But it is entirely selfish that I would like to have my team stay with me.
I mean, I'm right there with you, Doc. I want to stay with this team.
Well, I intend to inform the others before I have this talk with Baker. But I understand that you are active duty and you may have goals for your career, and this may hamper that. And I did not want to do that to you. So,
Well, Doc, that's something I actually need to talk to you and the team about because I need to report in to my superior. And I think I could get myself out of going on the mother mission, but I need to offer up some intel. And what we saw and what happened out there, I have to report on some of it. I should report on all of it. But I just wanted to make sure we all have our stories aligned. Because if we do plan to go back out there and either try to track down that sample that we did not successfully incinerate in the sun, or go to that colony planet where there's more of those samples, are we doing that above board? Are we doing that on the books? Because I need to know what to report.
well, full transparency from me, Martha, is that I am not a man built for subterfuge. However, and this has been the sticky wicket that I've been running in my head for quite some time, the truth that we know can get people killed.
Yeah.
And I swore an oath that means everything to me not to do harm. But Baker is an insistent, an observant, and a diligent man.
Okay, good.
Oh no, and so I can only tell him the repercussions of insisting on the truth that he is most likely going to insist on. And with that information, if he makes the informed decision that he still wants to know the truth, then I have no choice other than to tell it to him.
It seems like we are upstanding citizens who are assuming we won't be allowed to go save the day. Maybe we just tell them.
This place has done quite a bit of damage to my faith in my species.
Yep, I know. Me too. Me too.
And that is why I insist on holding all of y'all so close. Because for every bit of bullshit that these companies pull, you, Isaac, and Tig always somehow show the best of what we are. So
And you too, Doc.
I patch up the heroes. I ain't one of them.
Oh, okay. Keep telling yourself that.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, I'm going to see if I can find Tig. Probably get yelled at, and then go talk to Baker.
Okay. I'll be back in my quarters for a bit, but I'll catch up with you later.
All right.
I immediately go get the Kush first, though.
Oh God. And Martha will, for the rest of the day or the rest of this chunk of time, go back to her quarters and start typing up a report and not sending it yet.
Okay. Just for game master purposes,
Mhm.
game mother purposes, are you being thorough?
I'm just typing it up.
But are you being thorough as you type it up?
I am, I'm being like 85% thorough. I'm just going to
Okay.
leave out the
So then that's not
juiciest
thorough.
details. So I'm ready
Okay.
to decide if I send
Cool.
it all.
So
not thorough, I guess.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Good to know. All right. What's up, Tig? What you got? What are you up to?
Very briefly, and then Doc can find Tig as he wanted to. And
I think the whole crew is probably going to find themselves in Baker's office at that point. But what do you?
Yeah.
What-
So Tig has spent the afternoon. I just wanted to have said it that she spent the
Mhm.
afternoon probably sitting in a public place,
Okay.
drafting a message to her uncle,
Uh-huh.
drafting a message to Buffy,
Okay.
and trying to figure out how to explain to a 5-year-old that she's not going to hear from me for several years.
Mhm.
And slowly spiraling about it. And I think she writes these messages, doesn't send them, but has them like drafted, and then is going to gets up to go talk to Baker. And I think if you would know where you wanted to run into Tig, you can run into her on her way up.
Okay.
She looks frazzled.
Oh, I honestly, Doc was just going to ask if you're okay with him not medically clearing himself and requesting that the team stay with him.
Yeah. Tig, I think, tells you, I don't care. I don't care what anybody does. I was actually on my way up to tell Baker that I can't do it.
Oh, thank God, because I can't either. I no.
I don't know. Doc, I have a kid. And my parents went on a deep space mission and I never saw them again, and I can't do that to her. So I can't go. I can't do it. So I don't. If that splits us up, I'm really sorry, but it doesn't sound like it is, so that's probably fine. But I can't do it.
I've already cleared it with Martha.
Okay. We gotta talk to. We can grab Isaac and go up and tell Baker.
Let me tell Baker.
Okay.
Elios is grounded.
I need a nap. I need a nap so bad. We go talk to Baker.
So
Doc
anyway, I'm in
scoops
Baker's
somebody's-
office saying I can't go.
Yeah. Okay, we gotta go. Fine.
Okay.
We meet Isaac up there.
We all end up there.
All the way
Yeah.
up, Doc scoops somebody else's noodles.
Yeah. So it's
Noodle napper.
it sounds like the crew's made a decision here then with
Yeah.
regards to what's going on with that. Is that accurate?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you all rally then at Baker's office, you're given the clearing given the clear to come inside. And as you all step inside, you step inside just in time to see Preston Baker standing near the window, kind of leaning up against it and looking out. And looking out the window, you can already see just in the distance approaching an extraordinarily large looking, it has to be a colony ship, as the sheer size of it easily dwarfs the Helios. Looks like this is a ship that other ships can attach themselves to. And you can see the glint of starlight off of that bright grayish white hull with a couple of logos. You can't quite make them out from where you are right now, but it's pretty clear that the Mother mission has arrived a little bit ahead of schedule. As you can all see, this ship is extraordinary in scale and is already it's pretty easy to assume what you're looking at. And as you all walk in, Baker is just observing it for a second, and he turns and he looks back at all of you standing in the doorway. And he doesn't say anything at first. He just looks at all of you and just lets the silence hang over, like he's expecting you to say something.
Baker,
You don't want to go.
I can, in good consciousness, clear us to go.
Well, the good news is I could find a backup for that pretty fast, considering how much this mission is going to pay. But Helios, if you don't want to go, you don't gotta go.
I think I'd like to stress that it's more than that. We don't want to go. The things we've seen, the things we've been through, we can't go.
What exactly are you saying? Did you have something else in mind?
Not exactly.
All right, hold on. Hold that thought. Moves over to his desk and taps a few buttons, and the door is closed behind all of you. And he goes, Mother, don't let anybody in for the next 30 minutes or so. Bing! This chime go off. His mother says, you are now marked busy. He strides over to the sofa and he sits himself down. He says, all right, take a seat and tell me what you think I might want to hear.
If there's anything that you have recording,
No.
All right. Well, in that case, Baker, you are not a dumb man, and I am not a dishonest one.
Contradicts what my ex-husband told me, but sure.
You know we ain't telling the truth, and we not good at not telling you the truth. But I need you to understand that the reason that we have not been forthright with you is because, well, for my very own reasons, I sort of do no harm. And the truth would put you in a circumstance where you might very well find yourself in all manners of harmed.
Doc, I'm going to stop you right there. The fact that you have this one on your crew, and points at Martha directly, says, I already know that you're all up to some shit that I probably am not going to be told about. Look, y'all are an unusual case. Varela had you all doing all sorts of things that I still don't know all that much about. But if whatever it is that you're about to suggest you need to do in order to get out from underneath all of this once and for all, so that you can be what you came out here to be, which is a doctor that helps people who need medical supplies and medicine. If you need to do something to finally put this all the fuck to bed, I can buy you that time this one time. And you don't need to tell me any more than that. I trust a lot of you. It's my job if you fuck this up, though. Don't you forget that. It's my job.
Understood.
All right, then. He leans back on the sofa and says, "What do you need?" And that is where we are going to button tonight's episode of Beacon.
I love Baker.
No mother mission. Indeed. However, for those of you who are watching at home, if you would like to run the Mother Mission, it is an official adventure in the Building Better Worlds book. We are actually technically not sponsored by Free League, though they have sent us free product, and we do love them for that. So that technically is a sponsorship, but that was a while ago too. But anyway, whatever. We love you, Demi Plane. Not Free League too, but also Free League is good. Anyway, point is, check it out. It's a good book. All right. That is going to wrap us out for tonight's episode of Beacon. Stay tuned for socials on some of the updates we have coming down the pipe. We're going to see you a lot earlier than next Monday. We're going to be seeing those of you who would be joining us for this Saturday, this Saturday, 10 a.m. PST on Althaven Twitch. And do get ready because we're going to be giving you guys a heads up of the kind of stuff you can expect. It's going to be a little different than a few of our past fundraisers. It's going to be a little more loose. It's going to be a little casual. We got some good stuff coming up. I hope you guys enjoy it. That'll do it for us tonight, though. Thank you, as always, for supporting the Stream Punks and getting us this far. And let's do another year's worth of gaming, I say at the least. Until then, this is the crew of the Ilios signing off.